All right, we're just about ready to begin. We've just got a few more people joining, but that's always good. And we'll go a little slow here in the beginning and then get into our presentation. Should not be a very long presentation, maybe half an hour or so, maybe a bit more depending on questions. But at this point, I am ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and introduce our topic and get into our webinar. So welcome everyone to this month's webinar provided to you by CDI. My name is Kyle Nebel and I will be your host for today's training, where we will be looking at when to purge your Laserfiche. During this webinar, go ahead and post your questions in the questions box or the chat window. We'll be monitoring that during the entire session, and therefore I'll be looking to that to answer your questions as we go along. Or if you want to hold your questions for the end, we'll open it up for questions when the presentation is over. If you have any help questions, you can raise your hand. We've got Julio assisting on our presentation to answer any presentation questions, so we should be okay. Now, some tips for our presentation. Go ahead and take notes. This, however, will be a recorded webinar, so it will show up in the next few days at the end. Feel free to ask questions as we go along. At the end, there will be a survey. Please fill that out. We do appreciate your recommendations for new topics, as well as any feedback on the webinar itself. And lastly, remember, like I said, it will be recorded and it will be accessible from our CDI YouTube channel within a day or two, as I just mentioned. All right. There's our YouTube channel. Lots of great content up there as well. All right, so today's webinar is intended for end users as well as administrators. We'll learn about the differences of how purging affects different users today. Our agenda is to look at administrative privileges. We'll also set up automatic purge in Laserfiche so that you don't have to think about it and do it manually. We'll cover the difference between purging and records management destruction. I'll show you the differences and how it looks in Laserfiche. And we'll talk about some reporting that you can get regarding items in the recycle bin if you need to do that. All right, so how do we set up purging and the capability to purge content? The idea is the purge privilege is basically the ability to permanently delete content out of the recycle bin. Most end users, if you delete a document, it goes to the recycle bin, but that end user may not have the purge privilege, and therefore the document will sit in the recycle bin until it is either manually purged or the automatic purge is configured to remove that automatically. If you have an on-premise system using the Windows Administration Console, one can go into that Laserfiche Administration Console, go to your users, and make sure that the admin user or anybody who's going to configure recycle bin settings has the Manage Repository Configuration privilege. And then being given that capability, they will be able to see the recycle bin node in the repository in the admin console. You can see that on the bottom left there. And then they can go in and change the settings for the properties for that recycle bin, and also view deleted content from the admin console, either in total or on a by user basis. We'll show you that in the demo here today. So that's some presets that you might do if you're looking at an on-premise system. If you're in the cloud, one would make sure that you are accessing the repository administration area in the cloud. So you hit the application picker, go to the admin area, and this presupposes that you are an admin, of course. And you would click on repository administration, go to your users area, and then for that particular user, you'll want to set their privileges, as you see on the far right side, as having the manage repository configuration and also purge entries capability. All right, so that would be great for a administrator to have. Now, most end users don't need this, as I mentioned, but there are other ways to purge entries automatically. That being said, how do you purge entries automatically in Laserfiche? Well, you can, for any repository, if you go to the recycle bin settings area, so on the left-hand side, we can see that we've got a screenshot of the admin console. That's the Windows admin console, usually found on the server. And then under the settings area for that recycle bin, if you double click on the recycle bin settings, you'll get this pop-up, and you can configure the recycle bin to be on. And in addition, if it's on, which means the documents or any content that's being deleted will go to the recycle bin, you can also set an age limit. This age limit will by default be set for 7 days, I believe, but 30 days, 60, 90 days is probably preferred as best practice, because restoring content that has been purged from the recycle bin is very, if you can even do it, is very tedious. So we want to set a age limit where we can at least figure out maybe we should not have deleted something and then restore it back to the active repository. Because if a document or folder goes to the recycle bin, it can be recycled or restored back to the active repository. Once it's out of the recycle bin and permanently deleted, for on-premise systems, you could, if you have backups, get a restoration done to restore content and get it back. But again, like I said, quite a tedious process. Now, if you're in the cloud, there is no getting content back if it has been purged from the recycle bin. Now, I should mention that if you don't have the recycle bin enabled, but you are allowing deletions, that means the documents will be, or anything that's being deleted, is going to be immediately permanently deleted without having gone through the recycle bin. So there is a advantage to having the recycle bin enabled, plus an age limit. Now that age limit sets the automatic purge, and that automatic purge cycle is for every entry. So if I delete a document today, it will be purged at whatever time cycle that is, 30 days, 90 days. And so that clock is ticking on that particular entry. If I deleted a document 2 weeks ago and it's going to be purged in 30 days, it actually has about 2 weeks left on its life cycle in there. Okay. So there it is. The cloud is the same way. You just get access to it in a different way. I'll show you how to get there in our demo here in a moment. But under the repository settings there, we can go to the general, and then there's an advanced section, and you set the same settings. Enable the recycle bin and set your age limit as well. Okay. Now, as a user with that, as I showed you previously, with the Manage Entry Access privilege, you can see all deleted items in the repository. And if you don't have that Manage Entry Access privilege, you only see the items that you deleted. So end users typically only see their deleted documents in their recycle bin, and that's it. An admin may be able to see everybody's. All right. Now, some people ask, well, what's the difference between Purge and Records Management Destruction? Now, if you do have Records Management Edition, the formal process of maintaining documents for a certain amount of time and then making sure that they are removed at a certain point in time to follow rules and regulations, that's done using Records Management Edition. It's kind of a formal process where documents are kept for a certain amount of time and then removed or destroyed from the system. A Records Management Destruction is a permanent deletion at that time. It does not go to the recycle bin. So Records Management Destructions skips the recycle bin altogether, and the content is removed immediately at the point that the records manager destroys that records folder or that records content. For end users or admins who are purging entries or going to the recycle bin and purging all entries, at that point, then everything is removed from the recycle bin. All right, so pretty straightforward there. Now, you can navigate to the recycle bin, and in all current versions of Laserfiche, and going back for a couple versions already, you can search the recycle bin. Now, you can search based on the entry name, you can search on field values, and even annotation text that might be on a document. Folders typically don't have annotation text, but the only thing you can't search on for content in the recycle bin is document text. As you know, in the main repository, you could search for a document. If it has searchable text, you can search for a document by its text. That's just not something that is available in the recycle bin. For the cloud or web client, you can navigate to the recycle bin folder, and then on the top right corner, you'll have a search icon, and you can search for content based on keywords, and then you can check that box for whether you're searching by entry name, fields, or annotation text. We can see on the right-hand side on this screenshot that if you navigate to the recycle bin in the folder browser on the left-hand side, you'll get a slightly different looking search icon. The big magnifying glass in the top left corner of the toolbar there, normally it doesn't have that recycle symbol inside the magnifying glass, but once you navigate to the recycle bin, you are then able to search the recycle bin for any content based on keywords. And again, if you want to search just by entry name or all types of criteria, but it be fields, annotation text, and entry names, you can do that. Notice document text is grayed out. Just one of those things that is not capable in the system. All right. And having looked on entries that are in the recycle bin, if you want to export that list as a report, you can print it out or download that report as an Excel file. So whatever you're searching for, or if you want to take the whole list of all content in your recycle bin, or just search for particular types of recycled entries, you can run a report. And in the cloud or web client, there is a generate report option, and that is up there in the top right corner usually. And then in the Windows client, you can do the same thing. You can choose from the file menu and export or download, as they call it, a report, or print a report, either way. And you do get a choice. So if you want to get an Excel file that you can manipulate further and do filtering and views that look different, it's a great tool. Printing will show you a print preview, and then you can choose to print that content either to your printer or maybe even whatever printer is available, basically. All right, so that being said, we'll go ahead and take a look at our demo. All right. All right. Okay, so we'll get started here. And I do see a question. How is it? How do you look for documents in the recycle bin on 10.4 client? Same as always. It's actually 10.4, 10.3, 10.2. I think even since version 10.0, the search recycle bin might have been there, maybe 10.1. But the way you do the search, we'll go ahead and take a look at that here in our demo. So let's go ahead and we'll show you that. First off is our client. So here is our recycle bin, and we've got a list of entries in here. And as you can see, the search recycle bin icon is up there in the top right corner. Having logged in as a admin, you might see the Purge All capability. If you select a individual item, you could right-click on it and choose Purge. You can even, as you can see, do restoration of an individual entry. and in the cloud, it will restore it to its original location. Okay, so that's the web client or the cloud that will function the same way. If you're using the client, if we open that up, let's just, let's see, bring this one up. Bring this over here. So if we have our repository and we click on our recycle bin here, you can search for content by clicking the toolbar icon on the top left corner, type in a document. Maybe I'm looking by document name, and I have the documents listed there, and I'll hit the search button down in the bottom left corner based on any information. And that shows me my list of searched items in the recycle bin. Okay. Now, if I want to run a report in the Windows client, go ahead and click on File. You can do Download. When you click on Download Report, you get a choice. I do recommend Excel. It's kind of fun. You don't need to click the Include Subfolders, but you can add columns or information about the deleted content. And there's a list here. Whatever's available, you can choose. You can even choose metadata from templates so that you can display field information. All right. And then that set of columns will be downloaded in your Excel file. So basically, you'll see a bunch of rows like we see here, 16 rows plus our columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. And that will be your Excel report, so to speak. Very simple, very easy to do, okay? And if you want to, you can also choose to print the report. You can print it in table or list view. I leave it at table normally, and then you'll get a preview. Now I probably have to log out and log back in. And then normally that runs, no problem. So you should have no problems running a print. If you do a download, it should download as well. All right, so that is the two difference of running reports in there. Right click, and if you restore, there you go. Now, let's log in as now I'm logged in as an admin in my repository. In fact, I was going to do that anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and sign out. And I'm going to sign back in as a different user. And I'm going to go to my recycle bin, and notice as an end user, I only see a few documents. And these are my 3 documents that I deleted. With that manage entry, manage repository configuration capability, we can do that. In fact, let's talk about that in a moment real quick here. Go to our admin console. Make sure I can get logged in. All right, and in our administration console, we had shown you some screenshots there. We'll go to our user. So depending on which user it is, you can choose repository users, Windows accounts. It really doesn't matter. Go ahead and open up that account, and in the Rights tab, under Assigned Privileges, you want to make sure that that user has the Manage Repository Configuration option in order to see more than just their own deleted content in the recycle bin. Okay, so with that set, we should be good to go. In fact, let's double check. Let's see that admin account. The admin account has the not only the normal feature rights, but as we can see here, all the advanced administrative privileges, and manage repository configuration is one of them. Okay. Now, if we look at that demo account, we'll open that one up, and on the Rights tab here, we can see that that user only has their delete feature right, but nothing in the administrative lists, including the item that we wanted to make sure that manage repository configuration. They don't have it, right? Okay, so as we can see in the background, our user does not have that. So they just see their own deleted documents. If we log back in as our admin, I'll go ahead and see what that looks like. Okay, let's see. Let's go sign out real quick. That's not the same one. All right, get that in there. Too many windows open. All right, so now if we go to the recycle bin, you can actually see the, we have our columns here. You can add a column, just right click on the columns and you can add the deleted by column and see who's deleting things, and you can sort by that. You can choose all these available options for display in the columns. And you can resize this area here if you want to see more information. And just like you can in the active client or active folder area, you can rearrange the columns here. So I'm going to move that deleted by. And notice here's those deleted documents by that other user, as well as my own and other users. So there you go. That's how you can see additional content there. So a great way to manage the recycle bin right in the client. However, in the administration console, you might have noticed, if we go back to the admin console, go ahead and bring that back up. Now go ahead and make sure we can get signed in here. All right, we'll bring that over. And if we go navigate into, and this would be for an admin usually, under recycle bin, those settings, the recycle bin settings again, like we saw, you can set the age limit, set it for any item. The maximum age limit is 999 days, by the way. A little quick tidbit there. But notice you can view globally all content deleted and by whom, date deleted, deleter's name, and any content that you see here, you can also do a restore or do a permanent deletion from the admin console as well. But that's for admin users, okay? Now you can also see listed who has deleted items, and then you can just view that individual's deleted content from the admin console side of things. All right. So some really great stuff there. As a records manager, I think if you were interested and you wanted to do a records management destruction, it's a little different. So this content, if we go to do a records action, records managers would come in here, and this item had gotten to the point where it's ready for destruction. If you run the destroy process, you get a pop-up, asking to confirm that you want to do that, and then it will remove that immediately. So that was called the test folder, and it's not in the recycle bin. If we sort by date deleted up the list, you don't see it in here. So it's an immediate purge when you do records management destructions, okay? So a very different experience for records managers. All right. And that is our demo for today. There's quite a few resources out there available for you on the internet. Laserfiche has their own great set of information. They have a forum called Answers, and the URL is answers.laserfiche.com. Laserfiche also has a solutions exchange website for different solutions out there. They've got some great articles about how to solve various business problems and processes. The support site, you can either go to laserfiche.com/support or go to support.laserfiche.com. And there's great knowledge-based articles. You can sign up for a free Laserfiche support site account. You just need to know your email address at your work and the Laserfiche serial number. How do you get the serial number? If you have the Laserfiche client, you can go to the Help and About Laserfiche option in the dropdown, and the serial number will be there, or ask your Laserfiche administrator and they'll help you out with that serial number. We here at Cities Digital have our YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, just search for CDI or Cities Digital, and that'll take you to the videos area that we have there. All right. If you have any questions about having additional meetings, questions about licensing, software, or support questions, we have different email addresses. If you want to schedule a consulting meeting, send an email to consulting@citiesdigital.com. Sales and support have their own email addresses as well. And there you go. So that concludes our training session for today on Laserfiche and our webinar for when to purge in Laserfiche. I'm going to stay on the call for a few minutes longer to answer any questions you might have. I do see a question that regarding records management, asking about when the records were destroyed. Can you still see the metadata and the fact that it was destroyed? So there are some settings in records management where you can turn the retention of metadata and the fact that the content was kept in the system or not. That's a toggle. And also, if you have audit trail, then you can run a report on content that was either deleted or sent out for accession, and those kind of reports will tell you what's been removed from the system as well. So there's a lot of records management settings that can help with that. Rest of the meeting here, we're going to open it up for questions. So you've all been on mute, but if you have to get to another meeting, great. We appreciate your attendance from all of us here at CDI. Thank you so much, and have a great paperless day. But we'll open it up for questions at this time. Oh, there's another question coming up. The permissions needed for a user in order to, as an admin, see deleted content of everybody would be in the admin console. You just want to make sure that that user, if the admin account is the one in question, you go ahead and make sure under the rights tab that they have the privilege at the bottom half here of manage repository configuration in order to see everybody's deleted content. I'll point that out on a different user. Let me just choose this account. And so pick an account, go to the rights tab, and on the assigned privileges, scroll down and manage repository configuration. We may, if you have any questions, you can just email me, Kyle@citiesdigital.com, with any questions as well, but hopefully that answered your question. Just want to thank you again for your attendance, and please fill out that survey at the end of the session when you log out. We do appreciate your feedback. All right, if there's no more questions, we'll end it for now, and we'll see you at the next webinar. And that next webinar you can find on our client portal here at CDI. Go to cdi.support and go to our client portal. If you don't have a client account, you can get one for free, and then you can navigate to our events page and view the calendar for any new webinars. Thanks again from everybody here at CDI, and have a great paperless day.